Welcome to There Is a Method to the Madness. My name is Rob Maxwell and I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. I'm the owner of Maxwell's Fitness Programs and I've been in business for the last 28 years. That is a very consistent time period now, isn't it? 28 years. Today's topic is consistency. That's why I did that pretty lame lead-in right there. But I get asked often what is maybe the most important variable regarding physical fitness, and I don't have to think about it too much. It's consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It is far better to do a little bit every day than it is to do a binging amount of exercise on the weekend. In the old days, we would call that the weekend warrior. It has a little bit of a different connotation to it because the weekend warrior was more the guy who didn't do any form of physical activity, and then on the weekend he would go play softball or basketball or something and maybe end up hurt. So that's kind of like what we mean by the weekend warrior there. But when it comes to physical fitness, I think we also have our weekend warriors, and there are, volume junkies maybe, and they're going to get in like super long and hard workouts once or twice a week. Not too common, but then not do a lot in between. And really, the key is, if you're trying to improve your physical fitness, is to get into a nice, consistent plan of temperance, which of course is moderation. A little bit of moderation all the time is so much better than somebody just killing it when they do it, but they do it really, really infrequently. For those that know me pretty well, or maybe I've talked about it on this podcast, I'm taking piano up. I'm 56 years old. I just started this year, and I have a phenomenal piano teacher, music teacher. Her name is Natalie. She's also a personal trainer and a triathlete, which is really, really cool. And she's a great teacher. And, I really think about some of the lessons she's given me in piano, and we try to meet once a week remotely, and then I do my homework in between, and that's really the whole point of me bringing her up right now. She always says to me, muscle memory, muscle memory, muscle memory when it comes to the piano. And man, she is so right. And she always says to me, just 10 minutes of practicing that piano every day, if you can do 10 minutes a day. And, it's funny because here I am on the student side with this, and I think of all the reasons why I can't do 10 minutes, meaning that I think to myself, well, that can't do a lot of good. Or, I'm a perfectionist by nature. So I think to myself, if I sit down and start to do that 10 minutes, I'm going to go a lot longer, which, isn't all bad. Now, let me state this. I enjoy it. Like, I really do enjoy it. Obviously, and I'm not being self-deprecating here, it just is what it is. I'm not very good. I'm just learning how to do it. But I've learned a lot about the notes on the piano and how to play chords. And we're working on Let It Be, playing the chords for it, because I'm a big Beatles freak. And she's a great instructor, so Natalie knows that. She's given me the music to it, and we've been practicing that. So I really do enjoy it. It's just the perfectionist in me says, how can 10 minutes a day work? But it does. And the cool thing is, I then can be more empathetic to my clients, because I'm sure that's what they think when I say, if you just get out there and start your walk, start your run, get in 10 minutes a day. And, some of them do, some of them don't. And, the ones that struggle with it have a little bit of that perfectionism in them, or it still comes down to a time thing. So I can be more empathetic and go, well, this is probably how they think. So in many ways, taking piano has helped me become a better personal trainer because I'm on the student side of things. And again, there are similarities because there is muscle memory. And that muscle memory is going to come about from consistency and frequency. And it is so true. And it's been my experience with that. I will be very frustrated trying to get down like basic songs that are teaching me notes and chords. And I'll be at it for a while. And then I'll finally wrap it up. And then if I'm a good boy and I do my 10 minutes the next day, it's amazing that as soon as I start, it comes to me so much easier than how I left it off the day before. So there is absolute truth to the muscle memory thing. We really do get physical habits going. So there is absolute truth when it comes to your physical fitness too. Frequency is so important when it comes to exercise. It is so important. So to back up just a tad, there's such a thing when we make acute program variables, when we write exercise prescriptions for people, and that's such a formal way of just trying to say that when we help somebody plan out their exercise program, we use the acronym FIT, F-I-T-T, frequency, intensity, time, and type. So for example, the frequency might be 5 days a week. The intensity might be 70% of their maximum heart rate or maximum capabilities. The time might be 30 minutes or 3 miles, and the type might be run. Okay. So out of all of that, the frequency, especially really all of it, because it comes down to consistency, like frequency and consistency are the ones that really go hand in hand with each other. The frequency is so important. I'm helping Ellen now with her running with that because she's new to running. She's always stayed in shape. She does weight. She's done yoga. She's always power walked. She did the trampoline. She's done all these different modes of exercise her whole life, bicycling, cycling. And, she's taken up running and sometimes it's hard for her. She looks at some of these exercise plans that actually I wrote, and I had to give her some of the inside tips on the exercise plans of why not worry about the length of some of the workouts when really, the inside trick here that you that listen to my podcast get to hear this, but the ones that listen to the podcast tend to be a little bit more responsible for their own exercise. So it's okay for you to get some of the secrets. But I told her, I said, look, we as coaches always write more than really the person needs to do because the expectation on our end is they're not going to do it. So if we say 60 minutes, they might do 30. So, that's kind of the insider deal. So the point is to not worry so much about how long that is. And the important thing is to get into the consistent habit of it because the rest of it will really, really take care of itself. And when we learn to listen to our body, we're giving ourselves a chance to do that. So in her case, I said, just get out there and try to run a couple miles every day. That's going to be so much more important than getting out and doing like one run a week for that amount of time or even more of that amount of time. Now, yes, I understand that with frequency can potentially come overuse injuries. I'm not saying we go hog wild every day. What I'm saying is a little bit every day is better than a ton infrequently. We can all get overuse injuries regardless of frequency, regardless of duration. Like any of those variables can create overuse injuries. And again, the variables are frequency, intensity, time. Any of those can create overuse injuries. If we go too hard, too fast, we can create a pull or a strain. If we're doing more miles than our body's ever done before and we jump it up by 50%, we can get an overuse strain. If we do too much frequency, we can get an overuse. So that shouldn't be brought into the equation as far as being afraid to have more consistency because really it's our overall plan that we want to try to moderate and not overdo. Because I have heard the arguments, well, you need your days off in between. Of course you do. I'm not saying go hog wild. What I'm saying is that really the key to fitness is consistency. And I'm just using the running. Now let's shift to weights a little bit. You can work out super hard, and studies have shown that if you work out hard one time a week, you're going to maintain what you've created. But most people don't want to just maintain. Most people want to go forward. It's going to be the consistency of the plan that's going to create greater results. Whenever I've had people come in just for a consultation for personal training, and everybody wants to know, the magic answer, what is they're asking me, what is your philosophy on fitness? Like, what has led to the greatest results? And, what this and what that? And, it's a little trick I've always done, but it makes a powerful point. Is I open up the filing cabinet where we keep all of our client records, and I pull out a very thick pile, and right off my head, or file, sorry, right off my head, I can think of 2 or 3 clients that come to mind as soon as I say this. And I say, look, right here, this is a year's worth of workouts right here. These are their daily flow charts that we keep. And look how thick this is. That means that they were there a lot, right? So if I pulled out a file that said, this person's been working out with me for a year, and I pull out their file and it's not very thick, like it's maybe a quarter of the thickness of the other one. I mean, one person has been there 75% more of the time than the other. Who's going to see the results? So it really isn't so much of a secret. It's not a secret at all. It's not a trick at all. It's consistency. There's not a magic workout out there. I mean, as an exercise physiologist and well-trained personal trainer with a ton of experience, not everybody's the same. We just had this conversation at the gym with a client a little while ago regarding diet. Not everybody is the same. Everybody's different. There are generalities that apply to all of us, but everybody's different. So we definitely have an exercise program in mind with each client we work with. Like, one person's going to do this and never do this type of thing because of their goals and their strengths and their weaknesses. But at the same time, there could be a lot of variability. So there isn't a perfect plan. Some people want a ton of variety. And if they do better with variety, meaning like it's not the same exercises every time they come in, if they do better with that, that's what we're going to do. The point is they come in and we do things that are targeting their goals. If somebody is more of a creature of habit, and I would say it's about 50-50. A lot of people always guess and say, well, probably more people want variety. The reality is it's 50-50. Some people do not do well at all with variety, and they like just the same workout with some increases here or there, but they don't like to change the exercises a whole lot. It makes them uncomfortable. Like, they really like their patterns. They really, really like their consistency of doing the same order, the same exercises, and it upsets them. And I'm not talking like they throw a temper tantrum. I'm saying we get to know people, and they look forward to that consistent workout of saying, oh, we got 120 pounds in the pull down today. I remember last time I got 10, and we're going to shoot for 12, right? Yep, that we are. And some people don't want to know the numbers and just want to work hard every time they come in. Guess what? Both ways work. I mean, your body isn't that unique. I mean, hard work is going to anaerobic work is hard work, meaning work done without in the presence of oxygen is going to create greater muscle strength and mass. Like if all somebody did, and when I say all, I don't mean it like it's easy, it's super hard, but let's say all they did all day long was pick up cinder blocks and moved it 100 yards direction each time, they're going to get big and strong. They're not counting the reps. They're obviously not going, man, I moved 385 cinder blocks in 6 hours today. And it took me 38 seconds to get each direction. I mean, they're not counting the intensity and the time, but they're getting bigger and stronger because they're doing anaerobic work. So remember, we create anaerobic work because we don't have that much anaerobic work in our lives anymore. If we were out like chopping trees down or moving rocks and things like that, we probably wouldn't have to go to the gym to do anaerobic work, except for maybe some touch-up work here or there. But the point is, you're going to get the results from doing the work, whether it be strength or cardio. People out on, I have a client who successfully completed the Appalachian Trail. That's pretty damn impressive. If you've ever read any books about it or know anything about it, they got their cardio in. I'd say they got their cardio in over those, I don't know, what was it, 6 months, 7 months? But they got their cardio in. I doubt they said, well, I did 14 miles today at a so-and-so pace. No, they got their cardio in. Therefore, all the benefits they get from doing cardiorespiratory training happened, even though they didn't structurally count everything. So, we don't need to get too carried away with the exercise prescriptions. They're kind of a way to get us guided where we need to be. But again, the key is absolute consistency. And some of the most fit people I've ever known just have these nice little consistent routines that they do every day. And again, it could be some variability to it, but the key is there's certain mainstays in the routine, whether they run a couple miles every day, they play tennis 5 days a week, they go to the gym 3 times a week. Like, that's the key right there. Right there. Please let that sink in. That's the key right there. Not necessarily what you do when you get there. Not necessarily if your pace was a little off on your 2-mile run, but they did it. Like if you said, so what did you do for exercise this week? Well, I did my normal gym time. I went 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And, I was there about a half hour and, worked pretty hard as usual. And, I get up and I run my 2 miles every day, or I walk my 5 miles every day. And, on the weekends, I play tennis. Boom. That's it right there. A consistent workout routine. That's it. I know me personally, when I get out of a routine and I'm kind of, when I get in transition, because sometimes I reach a goal and then I move on to something else, and I'll try to plan it all out and, this works, that works. And I'm kind of like in between a rhythm. I don't like it. I don't like it. I start feeling like really kind of out of place, so to say. And once I like get into a routine of like what I've been doing over the course of a couple months or whatever, where it might be running on Tuesdays and Thursdays and lifting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then doing a longer run on Saturday and a bike on Sunday, whatever. Like once I fall into a routine again and I'm like, okay, this is good. Like I'm always consistently exercising, but sometimes I'm in between rhythms and it takes me a little bit to find a rhythm. And I try not to force a rhythm because I've made that mistake before, but I don't like it. But I do like it when I start to get, I'm always consistent. I don't want to mislead you because I like to show humility and say what my strengths and weaknesses are. My strengths are I am consistent and I have a strong work ethic. I would say my weaknesses is I don't always like working as hard as as maybe I should. I can be pushed, but I don't always like to push myself. But so my weaknesses are I don't always work as hard as I think I should sometimes, and my strengths are I am consistent and I have a strong work ethic, meaning that I'm going to do it till it's done. But I love consistency, so please, I leave you with that. Just understand that the most important thing is getting to a consistent routine, whatever that routine is that works. Once you find it, don't change it until you, I don't want to say have to, but until you reach a goal and it's time to do something else, okay? Consistency rules the roost. So I want to thank our sponsors, all right? Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group at Realty Pros. They're the absolute best, and they are the pros. They have the most 5-star reviews, and if you're trying to sell your house, if you're trying to find something, they're the people to look for. They're tremendous. They stay fit. They stay active. They're in nice, consistent routines. They love to do their boot camps. They love to work out. They do all kinds of stuff, and they came out and crushed my MaxFit games one year, so we appreciate these folks. Please give them a shout at the Gilden Group www.maxwellfitnesscenter.com. And until next time, be Max Fit and be Max Well.